wins the maps.
You saw it turn around immediately, so it's hard not to agree with that.
Looney's the key for this team. I believe I was speaking to Cap a few months ago, and we were just kind of going back and forth. Who's the key for this lineup? And he was telling me, he's like, dude, it's definitely Looney. Looney's a big part of this lineup, and I actually agree with Cap.
No, great player.
It's the only thing I've actually ever agreed with J-Cap.
Oh, yeah, no, J-Cap, not the brightest individual. I'm kidding, Cap, I love you. But let's hop right into Bam Protect. You see the first thing coming off, going to be Heat Wave, followed by Concussion. I only say that because if anyone knows anything about J-Cap and I's relationship, we have spent more time arguing about Kobe Bryant than anyone has spent time arguing about anything in the world.
No, I actually always give him the argument that Kobe Bryant's better than Michael Jordan, and he freaks out. Anyway, Concussion, Flashbang, Rapid Fire, Overclock, High Caliber, and Heat Wave. First thing's gone, so clearly these players just saw Enable, what he did with Heat Wave during that match. They don't want that to be broadcasted out to the world on this stream.
Don't want to deal with it at all. With Heat Wave being gone, the best, maybe the best ability. I don't know. I change my mind every day, but Heat Wave consistently, you think, comes up with the big play moments the most.
Heat Wave gone on this map doesn't really change much.
Well, if you were going to say it did maybe affect one team a little bit more, is there anyone maybe it hurts?
It doesn't change much of anything because now with that ability gone, you figure it opens the door easily for Purifier, Scythe / Tempest, Camo, Kinetic. I don't see any other way this specialist draft would play out.
All right, well, as they get through the specialist draft here, we'll take a look, see if anything really stands out. You do see Pac-Man going with that Tempest. We've been seeing it picked more and more. And I'll tell you what, recently, I didn't really notice it as much yesterday, I guess, but I really noticed the difference in ammo for the Scythe today. When I saw it used once, I was like, oh, God, that really is significantly less than you remember it being. It just didn't really stand out to me that much yesterday. But here we go. This is kind of the difference we saw, I believe. Okay, so never mind. We do get two Purifiers. I thought maybe a Scythe was going to come out, but we've seen sometimes where teams don't go with the Purifier, and I'm with you. I think Breach specifically, it's only really used on usually 2 or maybe 3 hardpoints.
Breach and Stronghold.
It can be used on any of them.
Breach and Stronghold, you definitely need Purifiers on.
It's a go-to.
I think a Purifier is a must. I think it's just you're going to go back to that first primary weapon, so to speak, and it's a toss-up now between Tempest and Scythe.
That's true. That's true. But as we get into this one, you talked about Looney kind of being the game changer, the guy for you that needs to have an impact on this series to really take it. When we go to the other side, when we're talking about TSM, I know we talked about Wheats a little bit, but outside of Wheats, who do you really need? If they're going to beat this Rise Nation roster, which I think we can all agree is superior right now, who's got to go huge?
It's got to be Pac-Man.
Okay.
I think Pac-Man, he's played very well in the Search and Destroys during Stage 1.
And he usually has. It's the respawns.
It's the respawns where he's up and down. I mean, we've seen him have some monster games, and we've seen him, obviously, lack a little bit. I think Pac-Man, though, in this game, a very talented player. I don't know how he's going to play in this match, but if he plays well, this is a team that can definitely upset Rise.
Well, I think it's fair to say we've had a little bit of a resurgence for Pac-Man.
Without a doubt.
He took a little bit of flack last year. He'd be around the bottom in KDs at lands, and people would get on him, but that hasn't been the case as much.
It's a much different player this year.
I think he's been a whole lot more consistent throughout Black Ops 3. It's been nice to see his career continue to develop, considering he's been competing for the better part of a century.
I think I've seen him and Wheats play games online on console for like 7 or 8 years now.
It's nuts.
It's been a really long time.
We actually we're going to have some new videos coming out. We filmed some stuff with the players here at the Stage 2 finals, and we've got some cool videos coming actually with Pac-Man and Wheats. They've known each other, they've teamed together for a really long time. Excited to see how that all came together, but you're getting a shot here of the map. We're just about ready to hop into the action. I know we all kind of debate what the key parts are on this map, but I just, for me, the thing is, outside of
everything outside of one.
Yes, exactly. That's what I say. Outside of
everything outside of one matters.
If you get a good hold, you can get 45 plus. You really, really can. So
anything outside of that first hard point, you can take a ton of time on.
Sure.
And we've even seen some teams successfully hold off, 30, 40 seconds on that first hard point as well.
They have. All right. Well, game ready to get kicked off. Final series of the night. Courage, Revan, they seem kind of ready. Take it away, boys.
It's our final matchup of the night. Thank you, gentlemen. Very much so. Looking forward to getting this one underway. Rise Nation versus TSM. I'm going to go out and say it. I predict Pac-Man to get 50 kills this map.
What happens if he doesn't get 50 kills?
There's no repercussion.
Well, there's got to be some repercussion. At least, like, stop casting for a week or something.
I'm not confident in my ability, and I also don't think I can make the.
So you're saying
decision.
you don't have confidence in Pac-Man to drop 50? Is that what you're saying right now?
Against Rise Nation, I don't know how it'll work out for him. I don't. But I tweeted a picture of Pac-Man and I with Photoshop Pac-Man's face onto Karma. I'm Photoshopped onto Bella's face.
That's just one picture that...
He looks like my father.
That's just one picture, man, you could never unsee.
Is that how it works? Either
Yeah.
way, TSM, they've got their hands full with Rise Nation off the start. You've got to wonder, the weakest team in Hardpoint Stage 1 going up against one of the top 2-3 teams in Stage 1 Hardpoint in Rise Nation. Looney, I just actually watched a major fail by him. He cooked an nade, threw into the Hardpoint, ran and slid right into it and killed himself to start this game off.
Nice. Good start from Rise, but it's going to be Ivy trying to defend himself inside the Hardpoint. He gets one, gets some help from Pac-Man after that as he takes down Octane. Ivy staying alive inside the hill. Right now, Rise, they've yet to get a single point on the board. Well, that's going to change as Classic is able to break in and get some points for his team.
TSM, they definitely do hold for a few seconds off the start. Looking forward, though, in this series, Revan, we obviously mentioned Rise expected to win this hard point, I would say is safe to assume. But with games 2, 3, 4, and 5, if TSM are able to take this hard point in some way, right now up by 35 seconds, what does that say for the rest of the series?
I think it puts them in an okay position going into the Search and Destroy. I think Rise are certainly favored, as you're saying, in this series. Definitely the Uplink goes to them. Search and Destroy could be a toss-up for me. Rise have definitely improved in that game mode, as we saw over the Stage 1 finals. I mean, they brought up the game into around 11, so they've definitely been working in that mode. So that's why I don't think it'll be a cakewalk for TSM by any means. But yeah, I agree. Rise are definitely favored here as they're starting to lock down some time. They're closing the deficit. Octane turns around, or Classic turns around. He gets some help from Octane as he picks up 2. Starting to rack up a lot of time here.
Really love how Classic has played this hardpoint so far. He's just kind of playing this angle, peeking just when he knows he'll have the advantageous opportunity to get the kill. There, he shows it yet again, taking out the player top porta potty. Pressure continuing to come in more now through middle map. But Rise Nation, they're ready for this. They still have Octane holding right outside this closet.
They can't continue to push.
And right now, they're just feeding streaks, which we've seen happen to teams, especially in Hardpoint. They're going to have to go on this rotation. You've got Classic on a 6 streak, Looney with 2 of his own, Slack just picked up a kill, Rise Nation with a full 60-second Hardpoint in their favor.
This was such a sick play from Looney. He started this flank just by pushing out the construction side of the map. And as soon as he started pushing through construction, that's when TSM gave up and they started to rotate back and he came behind all of them.
It's a combined 13 streak now for Rise Nation. That nade might make it more. Classics fully streaked out as well. Does stay alive just a little bit longer. Finally, Pac-Man stops one player. Wheats is there as well, but the damage has already been done. What was a 40-second lead for TSM is now gone. Multiple players, I think, have streaks on the side of Rise Nation. Classic already a minute and 11 seconds in the hard point, and Slack is just shredding people with his VMP.
Yeah, picks up right where Classic left off. Now Slack is starting to hit him. He's on a 3. Can he make it 4? He cannot. So TSM will be able to break in, but cool, you get 15 points. Look at where everybody from Rise is located. They already have their setup going, and this is what I was talking about when we were on the analysis couch a little bit ago. You just pin all of TSM on this side of the map. It's so tough to exit and actually fight towards the next hard point when you're in a position like that.
Every single player on TSM currently with 6 kills. Classic and Slack with double that themselves. 100 to 67 at the moment. The lead isn't as big as you would think, strictly because of how great the first hardpoint was for TSM. Wheats now trying to break into the hardpoint. He gets 2, can't spot the 3rd. That's going to be Slack that cleans him up. Now Colchan from the back of the map. He goes to shoot a trophy. That's not going to help him there. TSM get wiped out yet again. A 50-second lead and growing now for Rise Nation.
Slow down, TSM. Slow down, push together. Stop going one by one into Rise players who are already set up in position and pre-aiming where you're going. It's not going to work out. You see Rise starting to rack up a ton of kills in a ton of time. They're about to double the score that TSM have right now.
I mean, they're not going to be able to hold the rest unless they get a favorable spawn. They do have a couple players here, but outside of these few seconds that TSM have now earned.
Why do they want these seconds?
There's been 2 hard points in this game where Rise have held 50+ seconds of it, and it shows in the score, now up by a full minute.
Yeah, weird to see TSM go for the scrap time. There's less than 10 seconds when they were able to break in, and just like that, Rise, they're set up. Classic's going to use the Hellstorm missile here. The Cerberus has already been called in, just ready to wreak havoc. The Lightning Strike used as well. Classic using everything here. Kinetic Armor now popping from Slack. I think Classic, he might be working towards some more. He's going to go ahead and control the Cerberus, but that gets dealt with quickly by TSM.
Nice job by TSM to at least take that down. A silver lining here, but it's another 12 streak for Rise Nation, the second time they've done this game. Completely outslaying their opponents. No surprise here. Overall, positive 28th in the slaying department. Wow. I mean, to think that since the first hardpoint, it's been a 170 to 30 second difference in score.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. Rise and FaZe both have a really good understanding on how Breach Hardpoint is played. You see them constantly just controlling the outsides of the hardpoint, and whoever's inside, I mean, they just don't have much to do. Octane, he's yet to step foot inside the hardpoint, but he's 17-11, just slaying on the outsides and protecting the guys who are inside doing the dirty work, like Slacked and Classic.
There's no reason for him to when Slacked already has 2 minutes in the objective. Now at the back, top middle rotation. Slack trying to stay alive, does win one engagement. He's got a Purifier watching over as well. That's going to be Looney just pre-firing this door. Rise with an opportunity to 100-point club TSM as this one goes on and on. A flank trying to come in. It's Octane again, playing from that power position. I watched the Treyarch stream yesterday where they were talking about the new DLC and the thought process behind power positions on maps and how they're very strategically placed and very strategically put in so that there are kind of direct counters to them, as well as you know there are power positions, so you know to expect players to be there. Octane showing his accuracy that it's expected for him to be there, and he still ensures that he gets the kills.
Rise got 40 seconds on that middle hard point. Because they had Octane set up in top broken, they had Looney kind of feathering the trigger and zoning those players outside of one doorway towards lab. There's nothing TSM could do there. They had to either fight through flames or fight Octane, who's in a power position on the map, as you were just saying. They only need 24 more points. TSM, fortunately for them, they won't get 100 club tier, but it's looking grim for them in this map.
That was actually a really nice break by Colchan. Use active camo well, exactly how Classic did right there. That's going to be 4 dead again. Classic pushes forward with the L-car. Looney team kills him. Slack now with a dart. They're going to end this game on this hard point. It won't be a 100-point club, but it is pretty darn close. The dart picks up another 2-piece. What a performance from Rise Nation. They'll go up 1-0. Wow. I thought Pac-Man was going to drop 50 kills, and overall he dropped 14. Oh, well.
That was not the best prediction you've made, but definitely a tough map for TSM.
It was bold. It was a bold prediction. Right?
Yeah, Rise, they really ran away with that one. You know, really ever since that first hard point, TSM were fighting from the back foot. Rise, they seemed to win the rotation. It was kind of weird. Like, every time you saw TSM push for scrap time, I brought it up like every time. They would fight like tooth and nail for like 15 seconds. They would fight for less than 5 seconds instead of like, okay, we lost, 40 points already. What's another 10? Let's just invest out. Let's get our ideal setup going. I don't remember one time throughout that game where you saw TSM rotate before Rise did and have early position on the next hard point.
That might be the biggest slaying differential we've seen so far in Stage 2. 42 kills positive for Rise Nation right there. Very, very one-sided, and it was almost like TSM were getting a little bit flustered. At one point, you literally said, TSM, stop. Stop right now. Wait for your team. Give yourselves a chance, especially on that green hard point. I think it's a big reason why Rise Nation were able to get, 3 times so they got the full 60 seconds on a hill. Also running one by one. That's what makes it possible to get 12, 13, 14 streaks as a team. Overall, very one-sided. Nothing really to go into there. Obviously, Maven and Mr. X joked about last series. How are we going to analyze when it was 250 to 90 for FaZe?
Now it's their turn.
Well, it's their turn to try to say the same thing now. Dominant performance from Rise Nation in Game 1. Boys, take it away.
Thank you, guys. We mentioned in an earlier series, if no one breaks 30, usually the game went very, very quickly, and that was the same thing. Classic was close, but you saw 11 kills for a couple players from TSM.
I think the highest on TSM was, 16?
That's a crushing defeat. Now, we asked you a question before we got going in this one. Who do you think needs to be that main player, the player that goes big for Rise Nation? Who's your key? And it's Logie coming in.
He agrees.
He agreed with what you said.
Smart man.
You think he's kind of the key for this team when he has big performances? They certainly play a lot better. But looking at this performance, there's a couple hard points we're basically going to look at for the replays here, where Rise Nation did a phenomenal job locking down, 40-plus points, really maintaining solid control here. The first one we're going to be taking a look at is going to be Lab.
Well, I just want to touch on something. I was in here watching the game at the beginning. I thought it felt like 2 seconds. I ran outside. Actually, grab those multicolored goldfish we have. They're actually very tasty.
Very, very tasty. Very tasty.
You're very hungry.
I don't know why they're different colors, but they're very tasty.
I came back and it was like TSM had the same score and Rise just jumped up by like more than 100. It's just a really crazy game. And so Octane and Classic did a great job locking down cages. Those guys went off on streaks numerous times there.
Yeah, that was the first hold where we saw they really had a solid development where they started to kind of pull away, extend that lead. The second one, similar thing. Yeah. It's Rise Nation setting up, locking it down. I think it's the second time through top middle, I believe, is where they're able to really get big control here. We'll let this second highlight play. And if I'm not mistaken, yes, this is when you saw Slack in the hard point. You had Looney with the Purifier, and they were shutting it down. You wonder why we talk about the Purifier in this map. It's because there are so many hard points. You can get it done and use it very effectively. Here is a good example as he used it top middle to zone out one side.
Yeah, you just want to keep shooting the Purifier out. Obviously, nobody's going to keep running in as long as they know you have it.
Yeah.
Just kind of deter players from entering into the hard point, and then see it's only like 20 seconds
left. Well, look how far they have them spawning out. It's basically, you're talking the corner all the way up, kind of backside cage where they're having to fly.
And look at where they spawn out. They get split out.
This rotation over, you're talking a solid 10 seconds kind of to even get into combat.
And this is with 14 seconds left. The next hard point obviously popping up. It's going to be hill number 2 over at cages. Just a really long route to rotate towards.
Yeah, and that's what you play for. You want to push it out as far as you can from these hard points, force those extended spawns, and make them. It gets frustrating. Like if you keep, I'm trying to think almost like with Advanced Warfare. You know, if you're spawning, and it works in this game too. If you're spawning close and flooding, it's maybe not as frustrating of a thing. If you're spawning out, running for 10 seconds, dying, spawn out, run for 10 seconds, dying.
Well, the idea
is very frustrating.
The idea is when you spawn out to take your time and work as a team, but. That's not what we saw. It was just flood. They never got in. You see the results.
It takes a lot of discipline from these teams because you have, it's almost like there are hard points in this game that sometimes remind me of Advanced Warfare. Then you have some that are a little more similar to Black Ops 2 where you can spawn teams out far. The early rotation matters more. But that change, that shift in gear that you have hard point to hard point sometimes, there are teams that are a lot better adapting, switching play styles on the fly.
Yeah, some teams have not adjusted to that very well.
No, I mean, it's tricky. It's tricky because there are very, I guess, diverse. It's very diverse when it comes to just particular hard points within one map set. So we'll take a look here. We should shortly be hopping into the Bamper Tech for Game 2. Our first 3-0 was last series of the night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had 4-4-5, I think.
Yeah.
We get a 3-0 there from FaZe.
Not confident about that, yes at all.
No, neither am I. But
it's been a long night.
Rise Nation, seeing if they can do that as well to TSM. Bamper Tech, immediately you see Slack taking out the SVG, and that's going directly at this handsome man, Kolchan. They're taking him out of this one. They don't want it in his hands. They know banning overkill or thermal not going to affect him as much as just getting rid of the darn SVG straight up.
At this point, I don't even think you get rid of the thermal. You've seen him snipe so much with the regular scopes and the Varics and whatnot. I don't think there's any reason to even get rid of thermal. You're going to see overkill is going to be banned out by the side of Rise Nation. It's going to be rapid fire, the side of TSM. And yeah, I kind of agreed with something Revan was saying before. It's like, why would you ban out high caliber and rapid when you know the other team is going to get rid of it? Like, everybody bans it. Like, why would you be the one to waste 2 of your votes on it?
So, yeah, that's a good question. I mean, use your bans on something you think can impact a little bit more?
Rapid and high caliber. There's no reason they should have done that. It pretty much just gives like 2 free votes to the side of Rise when you think of it that way.
Well, what do you think we might get here with the final 2? Maybe Heat Wave or Camo could be hit as the last. No reason to go after Flashbang or Tactical. Danger Close.
Danger Close.
We know gets targeted sometimes, but I wouldn't be surprised if another ability came off here.
Heat
Wave or Camo. Wouldn't shock me at all.
Wouldn't shock me. HCXD.
That's true.
It's a possibility. Yeah, that's going to be
That makes sense. So the only ability you're going to have come off there is going to be kinetic. So you're going to be looking at definitely having a Camo, having a Heat Wave for sure, and then it'll be, do people like to play with Psychosis? Do we maybe see Glitch get mixed in a little bit in this one? We haven't really seen it used
I think you'll see, well, I was just going to say Overdrive and Vision Pulse. I think you'll see those 2 come out on this one. I think Octane will go Vision Pulse. I've seen him do it before.
This is a scary map for Overdrive.
Could be, yep, there goes the Vision Pulse onto Octane. Psychosis on Ivy.
So Wheats and Kolchan should be going Heat Wave and then Camo.
You figure Looney goes, is he going to go Camo or is he going to go something else? He could go Overdrive. Yep, there he's going to go Overdrive. Then you figure Classic's going to go Camo.
And Overdrive's a big one to watch for me. On this map, we've seen it used outside on that B street. and it either leads to an opening kill that works out beautifully, or that player gets dropped, the trade tries to happen, and you see the offense get shut down. I've seen it so many times it'll happen. It just works out to be a kind of a bait. Curious to see here who gets the edge maybe with the overdrive.
What's your opinion, Vision Pulse versus Psychosis? I believe Wheat's on the side of TSM. He went with Psychosis, and you're going to have Octane with Vision Pulse.
I like Psychosis on the snow maps because I feel like when you turn that that kind of gold clown color, it's pretty tough to see sometimes when you're in the snow. I mean, it's not like they're invisible, but it's a little bit harder to pick out when you're standing on with the snow in the background. That's why I like it a little bit more here than some other maps. So I'm not usually the biggest fan of Psychosis, but I get it a little bit on this map.
Yeah, it's not great on a map like Evac. I don't think there's a really great spot to use Psychosis.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of your push is going to be down the B street here. That's probably where you would see Psychosis come out. Bait some shots up from top rock all the way in the back. Maybe even if one of them wanders their way into the B bomb site, kind of bait some shots out there as well.
It's true. Do you think we're going to see any sniper play now that you've got the SVG out?
There's a possibility of like a PO6 on the side of Rise. I can see Octane pulling it out maybe once or twice.
Do you think Colchan's going to snipe at all? We don't really. Does he? I'm trying to think. I think I've seen him use the Locust.
Locust a few times, a handful, not many times. I want to see with how the A bomb site's been adjusted, if we see more teams start to go over there.
It seems like it would be a much more viable option now. I mean, you see that they have that big kind of opening now where it used to, all you could see was basically the forehead of the player that's
now you see pretty much his whole left-hand side.
If it was as shiny as and big as my forehead, it'd be much easier to kill the player. That's for sure.
No, you pretty much see the whole right-hand side of his body when he's standing there watching A side. But I don't think players don't use the smokes well enough. Like we see teams, they'll smoke out on Stronghold, for instance. They'll smoke out that side door by Mansion, then they'll push on to B. It's like, why don't we see teams smoke out areas over by A and try and push over towards it?
That's done. That's very true. I agree with that, and I'm just curious, though, TSM, they've gotten by a lot of times when it's come to search and destroy. That's where they've stepped up. That's where they've been able to kind of make a difference in a lot of series. Can they do it here, or is Rise Nation going to be able to extend this series to a 2-0 lead? We're ready to hop into this game 2. S&D on Infection. Let's toss it over to Courage and Revan.
During the break there, had the opportunity to check some things on Twitter. Saw Scump played that match today with a separated collarbone shoulder injury. Going to have a recovery process on that one. Hope the best for him there. Hopefully it's quick because that does not sound fun.
I'm not sure if this would help out, but Scump, I know CPR.
I don't think that applies there. I actually think that would probably hurt him even more.
Yeah?
Either way, though, did not look like a fun injury to have.
Worth a shot.
Posted the x-rays on Twitter. That does not look fun. Either way, though, back to this series. Rise Nation TSM. Rise Nation up 1-0 after taking that first map in dominant fashion. Team Solo Mid need to take this hardpoint. Need to take this S&D. Sorry, long day. Because if they go into Uplink down 2-0, I think this is another 3-0.
Yeah, Rise have always looked good in Uplink, so I agree with you there. This might be a must-win map for TSM. Now, looking at the loadouts from Rise, we saw them using 3 M8s, 1 VMP. The VMP in the hands of Slacked, of course, as he slides into the B bomb site. First Blood's already come in. Ivy there does respond with the kill on the Classic, but the bomb gets planted. Now Rise get the setup in the post-plant position. Slack does spot one, gets challenged, and Ivy with the second kill in the round. This is going to open things up along the flank. Octane does get caught out of position. It's all up to Looney in a 1v3.
Looney's like, how did I find myself in this scenario? All by himself.
He tried to slide.
Not going to happen there. Did try to slide, but either way, you definitely expected him to get cleaned up. TSM take the round. Good call out to his teammate there from Colchan to tell Ivy to destroy those trophies. He'll now just be 1 kill away from earning himself a dart. TSM will go up 1-0 after a nice defensive hold.
Now, Rise, they, of course, do get the information that Psychosis is already available for Ivy. Plus, they see his progression towards the streak. So, I think Rise, the one thing they want to accomplish from the next round, even if they lose it, is that they want to kill Ivy and take him off his streak.
That's pretty crazy to see Psychosis available that quickly.
Especially with no overclock.
Pretty darn good after just 1 round. TSM strike first. Here's a look at Ivy with Psychosis starting off round 2.
A little bit insane. Now, I think the question for us, okay, so Colchan is not using a sniper rifle. That's something that everybody else was wondering as well. Now, Ivy, he could lead in with Psychosis already, and I would like to see him use it earlier. Yes, perfect.
Oh, no.
At least he does die, and now things turning for the worst for TSM.
Now Colchan's going, how the hell did I get in this position? Just like Looney the round before. Colchan gets taken down. TSM get wiped off the map.
I mean, that was the play they had in mind. Use Psychosis. Yep. Let that be the distraction that they need to progress up the street. They didn't find any kills off the back of it. You could see that the idea was there. They just didn't execute it, I guess, the way they planned. And Rise, they accomplished everything they wanted to in that round. They get first blood onto Ivy, so he can't earn any more score streaks, and they kill everybody else with ease. I think that was a near-perfect round. Octane the only person dying there for Rise. As now, once again, it looks like they have the same type of setup. No, this time around, Looney's going to bring out... No, he had the M8. Looked like he had a BMP for a second, sorry.
He will begin to inch on up, finding himself in a similar position as he was in that first offensive round. This time does strike first blood. Gonna go for a second as well. Snaps right on the Pac-Man to give Rise Nation the 2-man advantage, and he's gonna continue to search for more. I believe he doesn't have Blast Suppressor on, but it shouldn't matter too much here as it's Kolchan left in a 1v3.
Yeah, if Looney kept on pushing, he could probably catch this guy out near the middle of the map, but instead, alt to Kolchan, as you were just saying. Let's see if he can make this happen as he pushes in. Oh, he see. Yeah,
wow,
nice job.
That's a great kill from Kolchan.
That's an important one as well. He knows the bomb is dropped, and he knows that they have to push him. So now he could play on that. He knows that they have to push into the bomb site. Maybe he could exploit the fact and hit them around through the snow street. But it looks like Rise, they don't feel comfortable with the situation they're in, and they kind of have the same read that I had. And Rise are going to just go right to that A bomb site and get the plan off.
All right, as Rise have wrapped to A. On the other side of things, it's Kolchan wrapping towards B. And now he'll recognize, oh, okay, we just played Ring Around the Rosie. Time to rotate back and see what I can get done.
Okay, so Looney has his specialist. He's going to have Overdrive, and you can see that they planned it for the barn side of the map. Octane is going to be the key player for Kolchan to take out. He checks his corner here. He might find the kill. Is he going to check it? He takes some fire, has some cover as well, turns around, can't get the kill. Octane cleans it up as Rise take their second round.
Octane now 3-2, 3 players of Rise Nation at the 3-kill mark. Here's another look again, how he got that one in stock on the VMP. Just so darn useful. Cleans that one up. Rise Nation take a 1-round lead. And they're looking to take this series with ease, right? This is their first matchup in the COD World League Stage 2. They've got a big game tomorrow versus Optic Gaming. You'd love to have all the confidence you can get in what could be the battle of the top 2 teams again in Stage 2?
Potentially. Yeah, I would think so for sure. They're the top 2 teams without a doubt until somebody else proves otherwise. But Looney, he hits Overdrive and he opens things up. First blood onto Pac-Man. Follows up with some concussions out. Does tag one player up and he finishes the kill. Man, Looney's such an impressive player. Stun checks around the corner, gets a tag, and he's looking out for some more blood. And he's going to find his 3rd kill of the round as he takes down Wheats. Looking for the 8s on the Kolchan now.
A lot of times Mr. X says things that I just shake my head at and wish I was deaf so I didn't have to hear it, but he's definitely right on Looney being one of the best players, and this is why. There's the ace, made it look easy. Clip that for the top 5 plays of the week.
I mean, the confidence that Looney is showing right now, it's up there with the best of them. I think after his performance at the Stage 1 Finals, he knows how valuable of a player he is, and he knows what he can bring to the table, his exact skill set. And you can see just perfect timing there throughout that entire round. He hits Overdrive right through the middle of the map and finishes off the round with a clean ace. Now he has the dart to use, and he's already like 3/4 of the way to Overdrive again.
I will tell you right now that is one of my favorite rounds of S&D I've watched in a long time. It was confidence at every front. Overdrive confidence to fly out, confidence with the VMP to shoot from such range to the player on the island, confidence to challenge a player after stunning, the second one as well, and then the confidence to challenge with the M8 from Top Rock. Flawless stuff from him. Major fan of Looney for this reason. Pac-Man does take him out, though. 1 kill off that final streak.
Yeah, Looney does get the information that 2 players are there, and it's going to be Octane there to trade both the kills. So an even 2-2 trade will always favor the offensive team. As they recover the bomb, they're going to look to reassess the situation. In the meantime, you see TSM, they're going to stick together and decide to hit the flank. Now, last time, we were in kind of like a similar situation. It was a 1v2, but this time around, Rise, they decided to push all the way towards the A-bomb site. Let's see if they have the same play in mind.
They have spotted Ivy coming on their flank. Ivy will just fall on back. Kolchan still playing near this broken side, so this bomb should be planted by Slack here momentarily. Does look like this will go down. Oh. No, not yet. It's only 20 seconds left in a 1-on-2. You expect this to be a TSM win.
Oh, wait, Octane, he finds going to Kolchan. He knows that Ivy's there, puts out some shots, switches out to his second M8 in his back pocket, puts in some shots, can't finish the kill just yet. He's running out of time. He picks up the upgrade that he dropped, and it's going to be Ivy there to finish the kill as TSM respond back. That was just a wacky series of plays from Octane.
Because Ivy knew, right? You can't risk just hightailing it and running away. You know it's a tough shot and a tough spot for Octane to kill you in. Might as well continue to challenge, have confidence in yourself to get it done. Rise Nation, they lose that round. Unfortunately, Octane did what he could, but it's not enough.
Yeah, I think Octane was trying to jump onto the sandbag spot and at least give himself like even cover to fight Ivy behind the bomb site. But good job by Ivy just sticking his ground and not backing down from a fight. But he's going to hit middle map real quick. He's got the bomb in his hands as he enters into the B bomb site. He's going to spot one player over near the sandbags. Does finish a kill there. That's going to give him Psychosis. Gets challenged and Slack's there to clean up the kill.
Nice job. 3-on-3, making a 3-on-2 again. TSM get the round, or the man advantage, sorry.
But everyone else is at A. It was a little bit weird to send the bomb into the B bomb site when the rest of your teammates are hitting A as well as mid map.
Well, Wheats has an opportunity to just kind of slide in and hope for the best. Will he do that and kind of pick up on the advantage he does? And that's exactly how he plays it. Slides in and darts right back out. Classic's been spotted as well. They know the bomb should be going towards A. A little bit of a crafty wall run right there to try to spot from top bar. Love seeing stuff like that be brought out by players.
Yeah, nice line of sight. Oh, what a shot from Classic as he rips the head off of Colcha. And now Slack coming around the flank. Looks like he did get past Pac-Man, so this could give him a good line of sight onto
right
Wheats. Yes, he spots him right there, throws out the grenade, finishes the kill. Moving over to Pac-Man. He has overdrive as well as a concussion. Did spot at least one.
He knows they're both there.
Let's see how he decides to play this.
18 seconds left. Does Classic expect to be here in middle map? There it is. Classic gets it done. Frustrating round loss for TSM. You had the number advantage. You had the bomb down. Pac-Man, though, not spotting Slack was the difference maker for me, though.
I mean, I don't think he just wasn't expecting to flank him all the way around like that. Normally, teams will just hit through middle map and try to converge that way with somebody pinching in from Graveyard. But, yeah, unfortunate circumstances for TSM there as Classic wins the one-on-one engagement here. I thought Pac-Man was maybe going to use a concussion just to check to see if somebody was on the bomb. But didn't work out that way as Rise go back up by 2 rounds. They lead 4-2.
Rise Nation looking to take this game. You've got a Lightning still ready to go, as well as a Dart for Looney. Does he elect to use this one on the offensive side?
He could. Doesn't look like they're going to play around it just yet, as they don't spot anything initially. It looks like he is going to back up and maybe throw something out, or he's just going to try to watch the flank. Still very early in the round, and of course you don't want to give the other team time if you're at least going to call him the Dart to switch your class up to a flak one. So let me just flip through. You got Flak Jacket, you don't, you do, you don't. So 2 players, it's going to be Wheats and Colchin that do not have Flak Jacket here. They need to be a little bit careful.
The Dart trying to spot any potential areas where the opposing players could be. Okay. Looney took that one on the long route all around the top island area.
Just being safe.
Now he'll bring it right on through the B site. He's going to see one player on these right stairs. Will tag up the Flak Jacket. Can't clean up the kill, but it buys enough time for the teammate to get the bomb down at Slack.
Yeah, on the flank, it's going to be Octane picking up a key kill there on Pac-Man. And as you're saying, what that Dart does is it gives them so much information. Clears out the entire B street, clears out the B bomb site itself so that they were able to get the plant off. Wheats on the flank. Oh. He takes down Octane. Solid shots from Slack through the Psychosis Jones. He takes down Ivy.
I don't think Ivy was expecting a player to be on that angle, and Classic and Slack, the duo, get the final couple kills. Rise Nation now 1 round away from taking this game and going up 2-0 in the best of 5.
How good do Rise look in Search and Destroy? It's not like TSM or Slashes in this game mode.
No.
Rise have put in some serious work in this game mode, man.
And it's
showing.
They needed to. I can tell you all sorts of teams that need to put in serious work in different game modes. H2K is every game. and Rise Nation, they've worked on this. They continue to do so. As you can tell, Looney not with a submachine gun sitting in that top bedroom area where he was caught in round 11 with Heatwave. I can tell you that's been changed up. As Pac-Man's going to soar up with overdrive, does get first blood. Octane trades it out, make it 2 as well. Classic gets the 3rd, and it's Wheats left last alive. And just as quick as the round started, it ended. Rise Nation up 2-0, making slight work of TSM.
Yeah, a lot of action going down near the B street throughout this entire map, and it seemed like every time these 2 teams met, even using the Vision Pulsar to clean it up, but it seemed like Rise always came on top. Out of all the trades that happened, they had the better positioning, and just they won the most gunfights. And Looney, of course, had a huge impact on the game.
How many times did it seem like TSM would get first blood, and then out of nowhere there was 3 trades in favor of Rise Nation, just following up each other pretty well?
Yeah, you remember that one round where they had 2 players like Big Rock and right in front of Cliff, and I think it was Pac-Man who spots them both out. He dies, but his teammate trades 2, and then Octane gets 2 after that. It's like, yeah, definitely the trades need to be better on the side of TSM.
They always had a player in a position to make sure that numbers weren't too far in the opposing team's favor, or even in general The round where I could just tell nothing was really going right for TSM was when Pac-Man wasn't expecting the full flank from Slack. He got that. He got past him, got in a broken, got the nade kill. Pac-Man in the 1v2. He spotted both players, but at the same time, it's just it was a tough spot to be.
Yeah, it's a tough move to predict. I mean, you're not really expecting Slack to go all the way around your buildings like that. Maybe he cuts through Green Alley, but Pac-Man had a clear line of sight throughout the middle of the map. He was in a spot where he could get a lot of information. Unfortunately, Slack really went into one position where Pac-Man couldn't spot him.
Well, here's your after-action report. Again, a well-rounded effort from Rise Nation. Everybody positive, just like that game 1. 2 plants, 1 defuse from Slack. And for the most part, Colchan, breakout player of stage 1, not having his presence felt in that map. TSM down 2-0. You're now going into Uplink against Rise Nation
on Fringe.
This spells a recipe for disaster for them. Matt, Maven, can they force the game 4?
It is not looking like it now, but it was funny, before the game I was kind of talking about why I love and hate Overdrive on that map, and that was exactly why. You saw Looney use Overdrive. He gets that first kill, opens things up, they get complete control of the B Street, play off it beautifully. Pac-Man uses it on offense. He gets a kill, gets traded, and then his teammates feel like, oh, we got to get forward, we got to trade everything, and they just collapse. Everything drops.
They just feel like they got to get close to him.
5 seconds, everyone's dropped, because they're all sprinting to try to keep up. They're usually not gun up, not ready for it, and you kind of saw it punish them a little bit there in that round. But the first play I want to take a look at, I think you all know what we're going to check out. It's going to be Looney's ace that we saw in this one. He pops the overdrive. He gets through. The first kill is at range. I mean, this is an AR range kill with the VMP. I know it's someone not looking at him, but still not the easiest of kills. And now he's got complete position for his squad. He just pushes forward. Nice stun there to try and back the player up, and just continues to flood forward as he picks up kill after kill. Nice win there on the player at tank. And then I believe as he rotates back, he catches one, wrapping the whole way back. He was able to pick up an M8 and close things down. And that was...
He's just relentless.
I want to say it was like one of the... Okay, it wasn't the easiest aces, but he made it look easy. It felt simple. It was like, oh, there's a kill. No, there's another kill.
Another kill.
He's going to push. There's another kill. And then wrap back and get the final one.
I mean, he was not scared to challenge any of those players. Just kept pushing forward.
He wasn't at all. It was very, very impressive stuff from Looney. I think he only finished with 7 kills, too. Even though he got 4 in that round, but still making his presence felt in this game for sure. Now, the next one we're going to look at is another round. I think it was the second to last closing round we saw from Rise Nation. This is where kind of the duo of Slacked and Classic just erupt and shut down the players on the B bomb site, as we'll get ready to check this one out here momentarily. So this is where they come through with the dart, gonna tag one up, and then as soon as they come off, it's this combination of Slacked and Classic just holding on strong here.
Yeah, and you can see Classic overlooking Slack as Slack gets the bomb down, and Classic gonna back out, watch the back, but it's gonna be the action that comes straight through this B bomb site here in a second. It's gonna result in a lot of kills. Their Psychosis does not matter one bit, which is kind of crazy that Ivy, I'm not gonna see it, but he had Psychosis like 2 rounds in, 1 round in. Second round, he had Psychosis.
Yeah, he started out 3-0 because you were mentioning, they tweak. You saw the patch notes. They tweak the timers, how many points it's going to take really to get these actual abilities, and that's quick, man. No overclock. 3-0, and he had Psychosis. So, I was questioning Psychosis use a little bit, but maybe that's the big reason behind it. I haven't personally played with it since the patch.
I still don't love it. Even if you get it that fast, I mean, you can't do anything with it. It doesn't matter how fast you get it.
That's true. If it doesn't help you make a play, it doesn't matter if you use it 5 times or 3 times.
I mean, look at the Ripper. It's like the Ripper, you get the fastest out of any weapon. It's like just because you get it fast, you've never seen it.
The Ripper should be used far more than
I would love to see the Ripper used, by the way.
Really would
we can get into the banner protect. You have Heatwave and Concussions. First thing's gone. Flashbang's going to go as well. Ivy going to get rid of Afterburner. So you figure high caliber rapid, so we're down to like 2 more that we're looking at. Overdrive 2, so you figure that we're only looking at 1 position here that we have something open.
And this is, wow, God, this is what, week 2? I know it's a different roster. You had Proofy on this team instead. At the time, they were question mark, I think. Rise played them.
30-1.
30-1, 28-1, something ridiculous. 30-1, just crushed them. I mean, it was a complete blowout.
Overdrive.
I know it's a different team, but you got to take Rise in this to close it out for sure.
Overdrive makes it through. Interesting. Overdrive makes it through. Overdrive also gets a little bit of a buff to the rate at which you earn it with the recent update as well. So with no overclock, potentially, you will see some more overdrives even than normal because it does get that buff.
I mean, we should see absolutely, without question, an overdrive for each team here. Unless teams are so, it's almost like what Krim said. He didn't pick camo because he's so used to it being banned, I guess. When you take a look at this, you're so used to overdrive being banned. Does it maybe make it through? You see Looney pick it up. Pac-Man use it in S&D.
Pac-Man's going to use overdrive.
He'll be using it here as well.
And you figure Classic going to go
No, he doesn't. So I wonder if it's what I said. Did they miss it? You're so used to overdrive being banned every single uplink. Every single CTF. You don't even think to look at it. Unless one of your teammates, maybe you're not paying attention, maybe you grabbed a drink or something, someone doesn't tell you. I gotta think that was a mistake. You have to take overdrive.
Yeah, you need overdrive on Uplink, especially on Fringe. There's no reason not to have it. I mean, especially because it gets that little bit of a buff, you get it faster.
Sure, certainly.
I mean, I understand, you want to have those two weapons, especially if you're TSM, right? You're getting outslayed, maybe you pick up some big kills with a Tempest, it leads to a score. But outside of camo, there's no way to make a single individual play that will lead to a score other than overdrive.
So I'm going to show you why overdrive is so strong on this map.
Please break this down.
Because you activate it and go and dunk a lot. And when you don't have overdrive, you...
Oh, wow.
In-depth analysis of why overdrive is better than when you don't have overdrive.
I can see why that Curse team you coached a really long time ago did really well.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked. You got to take it when it's available.
Make that noise again and go on.
I don't know what that was, but just unbelievable. Hey, they're not going to have it, and that's going to be the standout thing for me. We're going to watch Looney use it on the one side. Let's see how effective it ends up being for Looney. I don't see the Tempest.
I guarantee you Looney gets at least 2 scores without.
I don't think the Tempest from Pac-Man, or I guess you could look at all the players there too, because no one selected it. You can blame everybody, but he did use it in S&D. You think maybe he's going to be the guy to use it here?
Well, this map, Pac-Man's probably going to have an AR in his hand. Probably not going to play around the drone too much. Probably look at somebody like Ivy to select overdrive.
That's your fault, Ivy. You heard it here from Matthew, Mr. X Murillo.
I mean, if you really, I don't want to put the blame on Ivy. I don't want to put it on Pac-Man either. It's everybody's fault. It's a team game.
So he blames the entire Team Solo Mid organization.
Yeah.
Which might be better, but the game is loading. This might be the closeout one for Rise Nation. Can they get the 3-0? We just saw the hot 3-0 from FaZe as well. We'll let the casters bring this one to you. Courage and Revan, let's close out the night.
Maven gets paid to talk about COD, and he's going, how does he get away with this?
Expert game knowledge. What do you mean?
Yes, is that what you call it nowadays?
That is top notch. Obviously, he knows more than both of us combined. Did you see that analysis?
Honestly, I think it's more jealousy is how I'm acting right now.
Yeah.
Maven continuing to prove that he
It's okay that Maven knows more than both of us. Really, all 3 of us. Let's be honest.
Yep. It's why I'm very self-conscious in my casting. But going back to this game, obviously the big topic that they spoke about, overdrive not being used. For me, it's not as big of a deal as they made up. We've seen some of the best uplink teams in the game elect to pick active camo over overdrive when it's available. Do you want, apparently TSM favor that second lethal specialist over overdrive in this game. We'll see if it pays off. Already, Rise Nation strike first blood as Pac-Man.
Well, Ludi's already halfway to overdrive.
That's pretty good. Something about earning these specialists insanely quick is up with Looney in these last couple games.
All right, also, I remember a specific game. It was
my God!
Okay, Looney, you need to calm down. Somebody needs to nerf Looney. I think that's what the next patch has to be. They need to nerf Attach, they need to nerf Scumpy, and they need to nerf Looney. Treyarch, I know you're listening. Make it happen. Just nerf these 3 players. Make it fair.
There's one thing to point out, and I always mention it, I always bring it up, is that this is the map that I know Rise Nation love to play and love to win. Optic Gaming got the better of them at Stage 1 Finals on this map, but the times I've seen Rise Nation play it in the league, they have just put on a show. Right now, though, Colchan doing a great job staying alive in Rise Nation's base, just being an absolute nuisance. Look at Pac-Man.
Pac-Man, he's just being a nuisance, right, and being a distraction. Wheats is going to be able to give him some cover fires. He tosses this for yards. He has his teammate Ivy here ready to pick it up. Colchan maintaining position behind Barn. This is looking really good for TSM to get another dunk on the board. He just needs to regenerate some thruster, and just like that, TSM go up by 3 points. But Looney's already has overdrive with. So now when we talk about if Rise gets spawn shot, which they have been for a little bit now, You could overextend, come through mid, and then just overdrive and essentially get a free dunk because nobody from TSM can catch up to you.
Looney elects to just blow up his HG, get out of it, and try to stay alive in the middle map. Except Wheats just has one of his own, destroys him with that. Octane staying alive from top bar in the power position. Gets one. Oh, God, Colchan. I feel so sorry for what just happened to you, my friend. Octane turns and just splits him in two. Slack whiffs some shots with the Man of War. That was pretty ugly to watch. Classic loses an engagement on middle map as well. So TSM, they're holding their own in the slaying department. I think that's the biggest difference maker so far, even with Pac-Man just getting his first kill.
Yeah, I'm not sure what was going on with Pac right there, but his team, you know, keeping them in the game, and there's going to be more opportunities for Pac-Man to find some kills. Colchan with camo, not going to pop it there. Good decision from him because he got the dunk. Anyway, TSM in complete control of this game for the time being. Switching over to Pac-Man, he gets shot in the side. It's going to be Wheats laying down some covering fire. He finds himself as the last one alive. Colchan now coming off of respawn, but Looney still with his overdrive, ready to go as he picks up the drone. I imagine as soon as he finds an opportunity to pop it, he's going to do so.
Looney still has this objective in hand. Now he'll rotate towards middle street, and this is potentially an example of where he could
go right around Grandma's with it, maybe.
First blood gotten by Classic. Now is it time? Still hasn't used it as of yet. Great movement to get into the window. And now he will overdrive, get the dunk in, and put Rise Nation back within 3.
And now it's going to be Slack trying to maintain this forward position.
See, now this is a tough spot with the Man of War, right? You saw he whiffed those first few bullets. Thankfully, the player did expose himself. Octane has that ICR, which has been buffed 17 times since the game came out.
It's been the same buff every time. It increased recoil stability. It's almost turning into the ACR from MW2, almost like that.
It's just a sniper rifle, essentially, at this point. TSM losing some engagements in middle map. Rise Nation look to capitalize on this. The player top barn, that's going to be Octane, does kill Ivy before he get the flank in. That 1-point play does miss, but there's still a presence from Rise Nation here to get something done.
No, that's been a throw that I've seen hit a couple of times, but one where I haven't seen it hit. Like, it's not like a consistent throw just yet. Slack will pick up the drone after Looney dies. He will get the dunk in, so Rise, they're certainly coming back into this game. They're only down by 1 point. Classic's going to pick this one back up. Now he has camo to work with. He's just going to go ahead and pop it here. Even though he does have a teammate in some forward position, he knew that the rest of the TSM players were coming behind him, and just like that, Rise takes the lead.
He nearly missed that ledge boost, almost came back to bite him, but Rise Nation with 6 unanswered points put themselves back into the lead. But TSM have a great opportunity to score right here. Look at the red arrows on the map. They've got control of barn, they've got control of back barn, they've got the drone as well, and now Colchan's going to go for the dunk with active camo. Makes it look easy. TSM swing the lead back in their favor, and they continue to keep this one close.
Spins right around to get a challenge to player back barn, and he gets the kill on the Classic. Does fall after, but they still maintain control of the drone. It's going to be Wheats not pushing forward as Pac-Man holds on to barn control. Nice toss from Ivy, but looks like it was just a little bit to the right.
You need more height. You need more height.
Yeah, that's usually why they go on like the fence or they wall run above that window.
You have to hit the side wall run on barn and then go for that one. You need to get basically to where you're at the same level of the roof before you can throw that one in. Definitely knew that one was going to fall short, but hey, Colchan makes the most of it, staying alive yet again. And he's the reason why they've gotten all these points so far in this game, because he's playing a very similar role to Happy and what Happy did earlier today. Happy obviously did it with the M8. This time around, Colchan doing it with the sub, and it's essentially forcing Rise Nation to play from uncomfortable positions, not giving them any opportunity to get to their back rock, and right now TSM up by 2 possessions at the half.
Yeah, he's also got 4 dunks.
That's not half bad at all.
That's pretty good. 8 points coming in just from Colchan alone, but it was a really good team effort from TSM throughout that whole side. It was looking a little shaky as Rise were starting to mount the comeback. You know, they had TSM trapped for a little bit over near 10, but what TSM did is they didn't rotate back fully, right? They decided to all cross in front Grandma's and kind of almost flank the guys over near Rise that were posted up near their base, and they were able to stabilize after that. Now going into the half, Pac-Man does have his Tempest ready to go. Let's see when he decides to use it.
10-7 right now still. Pac-Man does pick up this drone, very similar to what he did at the start of the first half. They're going to go for this overextend play through 10, but Rise Nation have read it like a book, and it's 4 dead for TSM. Great stuff from Rise to recognize that they need to turn everybody around and get that kill as soon as possible, and they stop the first score from going in.
That was a nifty play from TSM. I really like how they tried to set that up. Ivy hitting right through the back alley, going through 10. Pac-Man gets the early touch on the drone. I think if Ivy's maybe able to stay alive, or if they put some more pressure near middle map and draw the attention away from Rise, that could definitely have worked out for a quick 2-point play. But that's more of like an overtime type of play, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely. Not going to happen quite as of yet into this one. Rise Nation still down by 2. They brought it back within 1 possession. Wheats wins that engagement versus Looney. But now it's Octane's turn to try to go for this long-range one. They hold it, and right now we're seeing TSM keep the lead in their favor. They're stopping Rise Nation from racking up the scores. What's the difference you're seeing right now on this Fringe uplink compared to most Rise play on this map?
It just seems that TSM have been in control of the map for the most part. I mean, kind of like at the start of the first half Rise, they were stuck in the back alley. Back barn control was way in favor of TSM. It took a little bit for Rise to stabilize, but once they did, they were able to get things going. And then, you know, they fell behind a little bit again, and you saw TSM get the spawns working in their favor. They took control of back barn. They were able to get some more scores in their favor, but this time around, it's going to be Rise. They're looking to tie up the game. Running out of thrusters is going to be Octane. He's going to hold this one, let his teammates push up the map. In the meantime, it's going to be TSM. They're all going for the overextension.
Oh, yeah, and I'm wondering who's the one at L wall to watch this cardboard wall classic. He's going to turn around, look towards Granny's. They know there's an HC on the map somewhere. That's going to take down Looney, but still gives opportunity to at least go for this long-range one. The Tempest is out from Octane. He decides that's enough protection to go for this dunk. Who's the player in this back bridge area? Octane's got one player just below him, nearly connects with the shot. It's Wheats, though, with the Tempest, who's going to stop that drone from going in from Rise Nation. 3 minutes remaining, tied up 10-10.
So if Wheats doesn't find anyone else with this Tempest, like right around now, they should just pass him the drone, so at least he keeps some sort of progression, and you will find at least one more kill with it as he takes down Slack. Now moving up the middle of the map, while Colchan has a drone in his hands, it looks like he does have camo, so this could certainly wind up being a dunk for TSM as they're looking to retake the lead, but it looks like Octane peeking out from top. Grandma's able to shut that one down.
Octane with the ICR. Look at those shots. The range on the weapon has just continued to improve, and he's been using it all game, even with the M8 in play, just showing his versatility with these different weapons. How, hey, if it's in the assault rifle category, he's more than confident to use it.
And now we were talking about how important overdrive would be on this map. Looney was only able to get one dunk so far off the back of the overdrive. The camo gets used here by Classic, and he settles for the 1-point toss as it's going to be Rise retaking the lead now with around 1:50 seconds remaining to play. Waiting to see when Looney will get the drone in his hand so that he can use this overdrive.
Well, I think the idea right now is to toss it over the fence so that Looney can grab it right outside bottom barn. So look, Octane's going to push forward. He'll toss it up. Looney actually decides to be the lead blocker, let Classic grab the objective, and Rise Nation go for just another one. Now a 12-10 lead with just 90 seconds remaining.
Still one possession separating both these teams, so if TSM were able to stabilize, retake control of their base, but they got to take out Classic first. And he gets some help from Octane, maintaining control of the back of the base, and here comes the overdrive from Looney just like that, right through the middle of the map.
Beautiful
and he gets a dunk. Now Rise starting to get a couple more points on the board and build their lead.
So you could tell he vaults himself off that left wall to use that extra jump off the walls, like an extra propulsion to get that dunk in. Keeps his momentum very, very high. Now the super long range one from Slack. That is why Rise Nation are considered one of the best uplink teams. It is because these guys get it. They know how to hit 1-point tosses, and Slack hits a pretty one there.
And we all know how good Rise is at uplink, but TSM have been hanging in this game since the very beginning. It hasn't been a blowout by any means, and TSM are still in this. They got camo, they can maybe use that for a dunk, but they need middle map control. It's going to be Octane and Rise just clean up house.
Wow.
All four go down for TSM, and this is looking like if Rise, if they could get a 1-pointer here or just run it back in their base, this look like they could close this one out 3-0.
Rise were being outslayed at the half, now +8 as a team, and while you might think +8, that's really nothing, if you think that's kind of a 10 to 12 kill swing in just the second half alone, that definitely makes a big difference. It's why Rise Nation are going to close out this series 3-0 to go into tomorrow's match versus Optic Gaming, feeling confident in the zone and ready to go. The battle of the two titans of the Call of Duty World League will match up for the match of the week. You won't want to miss it.
And just like that, time expires and Rise officially complete the 3-0 over TSM. Great performance from them, but once again, you got to give props to TSM in that uplink match at least. They had the lead for a while there. Rise, they battled back, they tied it up. TSM retook the lead, then Rise fought back again. Well played by TSM there on Fringe. Unfortunately, just wasn't enough. And Rise, this is their bread and butter game mode.
Yeah.
It's tough for teams to take this against them.
There was a reason why I asked that question to Maven and Mr. X, and it came back to the camera on the analyst couch. You see Mr. X going, it's not going to a game 4. It was more than safe to assume. I will be honest, TSM put up a much better fight than I was expecting. But all that matters is the W, right?
Yeah.
And they didn't get it there. Unfortunate for TSM. But the Rise Nation are one of the best two teams in the Call of Duty world, in the world of Call of Duty for a reason.
Yeah, they're a top 2 team in general, and we've seen how good they are now in Search and Destroy. It really seems like they just approach that game type with a fresh mindset. Went over the strategies, created some new ones. I mean, for a while there, like I was watching them play, was it like French Search and Destroy, and they'd create like a wall of smoke through the middle of the map, but they weren't able to find a way to make that work.
Yeah.
So you see that they do have some creativity behind them, and now they're starting to get everything going, everybody on the same page, and the gears are turning for them.
We've spoken about that for weeks and weeks. Once Rise Nation get their Search and Destroy under control, they will be a scary squad. Here's a look at your after-action report. 26 and 19 from Octane, using that reflex, quick draw, grip, long barrel. ICR, and he definitely got his job done.
Thing's a laser.
It most certainly is. He was picking players off of cover where only their head was seen, like it was easy. That's it for our matches tonight. To close out the stream, we'll have our final words from Maven Mr. X.
All right, great stuff, guys. Been a fun night here for day 2 in Stage 2 of the Call of Duty World League Pro Division, presented by PlayStation 4. A lot of incredible matches. That Optic and MV1 did not disappoint, but the final match tonight, Rise, proving too strong.
Yeah, and you saw Overdrive come into play. We talked about why TSM would not have anyone select Overdrive.
I think that was a
Looney,
mistake.
I think, got 5 points with Overdrive. I think he got 2 dunks and then a 1-point throw in the first half, at least from what I remember.
Well, you
seeing,
showed the 3-0 start he got. He was like 80% there.
Yeah.
Like almost off the break. He got 3 kills and almost had that Overdrive already. But let's take a look at a replay. Going to be some big moments from this one throughout. I mean, this was really back and forth. I mean, the first side, that's the highest scoring uplink half we've had by far, I think, so far in Stage 2.
I think so. I mean, obviously,
10-7 or something like that.
Yeah, only 2 days in Stage 2, but definitely is, I think. And
so here's Looney. Look,
Yep.
look how close he's already getting. So he's 3-0. Okay, so I exaggerate a little bit. There's the 4th one. Now he's almost there. That's like 85, 90%.
Yeah, he's
basically.
like 75%, I would say.
We're making a percentage.
I think 80, 85% is pretty generous there. And he's going to bring this one in with Overdrive, get a 2-point play. And that Overdrive was a huge factor in this game.
Yeah, it's going to be. There's a reason it's banned in almost every single CTF or uplink. But what was a very high-flying first half slowed down a tiny bit, at least, well, especially for TSM. When you're taking a look at the second side, things almost came to a halt, for them.
And that's where Octane, he has to throw underneath the goal, wants to wait for his teammates to get back towards the middle of the map. Here you see another score with Overdrive out of Looney, and that would put the game away.
Yeah, it really did. Just looking too strong. That was not an easy... If you're looking at an elimination game for TSM, you don't want to see a fringe uplink when you're going up against Rise. It's the last thing you want to take a look at. But let's check out then the schedule for tomorrow. Obviously, we've changed some things up in Stage 2 a bit here. You're going to have some EU matches to kick off the day, but for the North American broadcast, 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, we're going to have the Esports Weekly Recap Show. So basically, it's going to be an hour long. The first 30 minutes, probably going to be recapping the matches from Day 1 and Day 2 in Australia, New Zealand, Europe, and also North America. The second half of that broadcast is mostly going to be, going over some content, whether it's doing some theater rewinds, really starting to highlight, though, the big matchup of the night, which is going to be Optic versus Rise. It's the rematch we saw from the Stage 1 final. Yep. It's the match we've all been waiting to see again, really, since that grand final.
Yeah, be a lot of pre-game, talking about that match, going in depth with, the different maps they're going to play and, who is a favor and go more into, the series than we normally do.
Yep, spend a little more time on it as we get into that huge match. But let's take a look then at the standings here as we're through our second day. Obviously, there's still 2 matches remaining really throughout this week, but you can start to get a feel for people as there's a little bit of separation. I mean, one of the surprising bits you see at second place, I know it's early, but having Cloud9 up there at 2-0, awesome stuff to see from them. And then Rise or Optic's going to be the next team with the opportunity to get to 2-0, and they're playing each other.
Yeah, I was going to say, through the first, how many weeks? I think it was like through week 2, I think we had 4 undefeated teams in Stage 1. I believe we're only going to get 3 this time. Obviously, Optic playing Rise, they both cannot remain undefeated. So it'll be interesting to see who wins that one tomorrow.
It certainly will. So remember, we got a couple matches in EU tomorrow, and then 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, we're going to be kicking it off with the Esports Weekly Show before we hop in to our big match, Optic Rise. But for now, guys, take it easy. We'll see you tomorrow. Make sure you tune in.